Hey folks, well last night was the first night of Hollywood Week on American Idol. The contestants first got to go through Idol Boot Camp where they got singing tips, inspirational speeches, and style tips. And then they came out on stage looking and sounding exactly like they did during their auditions. They also got mentored by Barry Manilow because, as we all know, there's no better way to become a current relevant pop star than to get mentored by a current relevant pop star like Barry Manilow. The first person out was Lil Round. She sang I Will Always Love You. The judges loved it. Kara and Paul had to stand up and gave her a standing ovation. They were just jumping out of their seats. I thought it was just okay. I thought the song ate her up a little bit, though, because she did the Whitney Houston version, and Whitney Houston can't even sing that song anymore. I thought she would have been better off if she had done like a Whitney Dolly hybrid like Saisha did last year. I thought that would have been much better for her. But it was okay. But I wasn't jumping up saying, Lil Rounds is the one to beat. Second was Dennis Brigham. Remember Dennis? Y'all, I want this so bad. I'm not sure what song he was singing, but it was really bad, and he was making the craziest faces while he was singing, which Simon was the first to point out, of course. They should have never sent poor Dennis to Hollywood because they knew he wasn't going to make it. They knew he was. Nobody ever thought Dennis Brigham was going to be the next American Idol. Nobody. Was his the only performance, though, that they showed that didn't actually make it to the next round? Dennis was mad, though. He was really mad. He said, what kind of message are y'all sending to America? That if you sing like Dennis Brigham, that you're not going to be the next American Idol. That's a pretty simple message, I think. Then he went on to tell him, y'all suck as judges. And then, in a completely original format, he insulted Simon's wardrobe. Like that's never been done before. Finally, it showed him at the end singing, America's gonna be mad cause y'all cut me. Well, I sang that a little better than he did. America's pissed. We're just seething, Dennis. Seething. Furious. After that was Nathaniel Marshall. He sang a song that nobody has ever heard before. He sang it pretty good, but as Paula mentioned, it was kind of flat all the way through the song. Simon asked him what was the inspiration behind that song, and he says, well, I'm one of those kids that's been through a lot. Yeah, like you and everybody else that auditioned for the show. Everybody's just been through it all. 18 years old and you've just been through it all. Is he 18? I don't know how old he is. I just said that. And he said that music has kept him from freaking out. And then he stood there on stage and proceeded to freak out. He made it through to the next round, but he was pretty good. After that was Anoop Desai, whatever. Anoop was really good. I like him. I really like him a lot. But they just showed a little bit of him. After that was Jasmine Murray. Cute as a button. Didn't I say that about her last time? Well, she still is. Next was Rose Flack. Oh, Lord, Rose Flack. She struggled in rehearsals, and I think it's because she really can't sing that well. She looked pregnant, though. Didn't she look pregnant? I thought everything she wore looked like kind of like maternity clothes. And certain ways she would turn, it would look like she was 6 months pregnant. But maybe it was just the clothes. But she finally came out there on stage just puffy-faced and red-eyed because apparently she'd been crying because she'd come to the realization that she just isn't that good. It was horrible. It was worse than her audition. I thought it was awful. And for some reason, they sent her through to the next round. You know who I would like to see them put? Her and Norman Gentle and Vaughn Smith together in the groups. Wouldn't that make for entertaining television? That would be so funny. After that was Stephen Fowler. He was really pretty good, but I take points off for his Stevie Wonder song because the show has just overdone Stevie Wonder so much. And I didn't know that everybody loves Stevie Wonder, but everybody on the show seems to, he's like the god of music, according to American Idol. After that was Jorge Nunez. How did y'all like how Kara called it George? Jorge sang Angel by John Secotta. It was pretty good. That used to be one of my favorite songs when I was a youngin'. After that was Vaughn Smith. He seemed really confident before he went on. He said, you just got to step up. You can't get by with any mistakes at all. You just got to step up your game. Vaughn Smith, your game has already stepped up about 10 notches too high. You need to step it down. Because he's so over the top. It was just horrible. You could tell by the look on Simon and Randy's faces that they couldn't stand it. They thought it was horrible. And finally, when Simon puts up that hand and goes, thank you. You know what's coming next. Simon told him that it was indulgent nonsense and something that a 10-year-old would do when they're just learning that they can sing as a child. which I agree with Simon. He said it was horrible, and it was. For some reason, though, they put him through the next round, too. Why? He didn't seem phased by it. When they put him through, he didn't seem phased by it. Kara says, well, he didn't look very happy. I think it's that overconfidence. He's just real cocky. After that was Nick Mitchell, or Norman Gentle, or whatever you want to call him. He came out in that same hideous outfit that he wore in the audition. He sang "And I'm Telling You," and he worked up the crowd pretty good. And then Randy said that he actually could sing. Well, I think that's a little bit of a stretch, Randy. He was okay, but he really is not a good singer. He could sing a little bit, but not much. Simon told him that without the craziness he was boring, and that with it he was a joke. And Simon's right. Paula said it would be interesting to hear you sing a song all stripped down, and he started to unbutton his shirt. She said, no, no. That's obviously not what she meant, but I thought that was pretty funny. Once again, he has defied the odds and has moved on to the next round. Why do they put these people through? That is so funny. After that was Jackie Tawn. She sang some rock song. I thought it was a little bit over the top. Kind of Amanda Overmyerish, but with a better voice. I'm surprised that Simon didn't mention all the crazy faces that she was making, though, because she makes crazy faces like Dennis Brigham when she sings. After that was Jamar Rogers. He sang California Dreamin'. You know, I used to love that song, but I hate it now because they overplay that song so much. They overdo that song so much on the show that I'm sick of California Dreamin'. But he was pretty good, so he's moved on to the next round. Next was his best friend, Danny Gokey. He sang "Kiss from a Rose" and got a standing ovation from Paula. She said, I can't say enough, so I'm just going to shut up. What? Paula's voluntarily shutting up? I love Danny Gokey. I thought he was great. After that was Bikini Girl. She really needs to legally change her name to Bikini Girl because nobody knows what her name is, really. Do y'all remember her name? Maybe if I sit here for a minute, it'll come to me. She said that it was rude when Kara started singing during her audition, and that it made her look insecure. Yeah, sure, Kara DioGuardi is very jealous of you. Never mind that she's just landed the best job in the world on the most successful show in the world, and she's had multiple #1 hits as a songwriter, but she's jealous that she can't prance around and act like a slut to try to become a contestant on American Idol. You know, she sang "Breathe" by Faith Hill. It was about as good as her audition was, which just wasn't good enough. Good enough for like a high school talent show or something like that. But you know, I think Simon, you could tell by the look on his face, he's not being 100% sincere with these compliments that he's giving her. He's just trying to get a rise out of Kara and Paula, and it's working pretty good. But I don't think anybody has any illusions that Bikini Girl is going to be she's going to walk away with the title. Nobody believes she's going to be the next American Idol. So I think, you know, after the next round, once we see her have to work in a group with some other girls, I think she's going to be... because she's got that don't hate me because I'm beautiful attitude, and that's just not going to cut it when she's got to work together with people. She'll ride her 5 minutes of fame, and then she'll pose in some smut magazine, and that'll be the last we hear of her. After that was Jeremy Michael Sarver, the oil rig boy. He was good. You know, he was better than his audition. I like him too. Just a little bit of him. After that was Jesus. He was okay. Poor thing got cut, and he was just so upset. He said he wants to get on a plane and just go back to work. Work? I'd want to go home and go to bed and cry myself to sleep. After that was David Osmond. They just showed a short clip of him, and he did okay. Made it through. After that was Erica Wesley. Another short one, but have we ever seen her before? Did we even see her audition? When they cut her, she got so worked up. She went up there and begged and begged and begged them to change their mind. Now, knowing good and well they're not going to change their mind. She said, "It's my cousin's birthday." Oh, well, that changes everything. Simon and Paula got into a little bit of a spat because Paula wrote yes and then no and tried to explain what she meant by, well, we can't hardly understand Paula when she's speaking, much less when she's writing. So that's no big surprise there. And last was Emily Wynn Hughes. She changed her song at the last minute, and the judges weren't impressed. I wasn't impressed either, but of course I wasn't impressed with her audition as much as they were. But they let her through anyway. Maybe the reason she didn't do so great is because of that ankle monitor. Y'all know she's wearing an ankle monitor because she had a DUI, and now she's like on probation. Emily, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Drunk drivers ought to be kicked right off the show, as you do not drink and drive. In all, a total of 104 people made it through to the next round, which is going to be the group rounds, which is tomorrow night,